Hello and welcome to another episode of Anime Masters of the Apocalypse Anime Talks. I am your host, Mass, and with me is the lovely Anne. Say hello, Anne.
Hi.
Also with us is Vlad. Say hello, Vlad.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna get to something the disgusting, the ugly, the the disappointing. It's
See,
just flat. That's
this
almost
anime
disappointing.
was. See, this anime has just filled me with so much positivity about the world that I'm not gonna say anything bad about
That's lovely.
you. Yeah.
I can get used to this.
Then we have to find more good enemies. The worse the anime, the worst thing I'm gonna call you. So, in any case, today we're here to talk about the first half of Ranking of Kings. And the reason why I'm saying the first half is because we've deliberately decided to only watch one part of it, and then we'll talk about one part specifically from episode 1 to 11, and then we'll talk about the second part or the rest of it later.
Yeah. So
Yes,
it's from episode 1 to
to
11.
11, yeah. That's what
Yeah,
we've seen. To and with
great.
11. Yes. And if I'm gonna give a brief summary of the show, it's about this kid who's uh, who's a prince and who who want to be a really good like king, just like his father. And in this world, one, all the kings or rulers are basically ranked as well. And well, he want to be a really good king, but because of some some problems that he has, then a lot of the people around him doesn't think he's fit to be king, but he really wants to prove them wrong,
Mm.
and a lot of stuff happens.
Sweet and short.
Yes. So should we get to it?
Yeah.
All right. We'll start with some character analysis of these five chosen characters.
Mm.
So let's talk about like our main character himself, Boji.
Mm.
Does he have? Is it just me, or does
Mm.
Boji have the sweetest smile of any anime protagonist?
Oh, he does.
Yeah, I mean, just look at
It's
that.
very cute.
What? Uh,
It's like a little frog.
yeah, with the big eyes and yeah,
He does
Yeah.
look like a frog. Or like a cute one. Very
yeah, like a
adorable.
cute
Like a
frog.
cute frog. Ghetto. Ghetto.
Hmm.
It was hard to nail it down to the first five characters because every character in this show is very well rounded and could could be a great topic to talk about. Um,
Yeah, and I would say this is actually where it really helps the fact that we are giving this anime like two rounds, so that some of the
mm.
other characters we can talk about them the next time.
but but what if there's some major character development in the next part?
Then one of the subjects could be character development. I don't know.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
we could do it like that.
Yeah. So, but Boji, we have to talk about Boji. Yeah. So, as far as protagonists go, I would say that this may sound weird, but he's actually the least complicated character in terms of
Mm.
personality. I would say,
Yeah.
yeah, because like
Yeah.
really he's the good guy, like
Mm.
really he's a nice kid, wants to do good, does good,
Uh,
and is good.
there's like nothing wrong with him. Like he's
Yes,
just
exactly.
nice. He's
Yeah.
really nice.
hmm And that's not to say that I don't love his character. I do. He's a great character.
Mm.
But in terms of being a complicated character and to there being like a lot to his character, then I think the other characters actually beats him to that.
Mm.
Hmm.
Personality wise.
Yeah, personality wise.
Yeah.
But I think, of course, also one of the points of the show is how his personality, how it affects the other characters.
Mm.
Hmm. Like he's a ray of sunshine in a very difficult world, you could say.
Mm. Yeah.
Hmm
It's good to see all the other characters evolve around him and always again because some of the other characters do something bad and they all it always it always revolves around Boji, but he doesn't give up and he doesn't it he's always this shining light as you said.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and it's
as a
also
viewer, it's
yeah.
always good to look back on Boji and say, okay, all hope is not lost yet.
Mm. And
He's
also, I
like
really
a
yeah.
three-legged puppy, you know? Like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
doesn't give up even though he's missing a leg.
Mm.
yeah,
So he's
yeah,
very inspirational.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
Because
yeah.
he's
He
still
is.
so happy.
Yeah, you just wanna give him a hug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, every time he got so sad that he that he started to cry, and
Yeah.
every time Kage came over to talk to him, he just wiped those tears up and smiled again. It's so
Mm.
oh blessed boy, man, blessed boy.
Mm.
Oh,
And that's the sign of a great protagonist when you're really rooting for him. And I, and
mm,
I and I was rooting for Bodhi all the way through. I was saying,
mm.
yes, you can do it. Don't let the people say that you can't. Go for it, my friend. Hmm.
So
And
yeah,
one thing that that's interesting about Boji in terms of being like an anime protagonist is his I would say his skill set is pretty unique in that regard.
mhm,
Has
yeah,
Is that he's not that strong, but he's like
uh,
skilled.
yeah, like he's really really fast.
Yeah, and then he uses that for like what to call it, pressure points.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty unique idea. Well, unique and
Mm,
unique, but for an anime protagonist, it's not something you see that often.
mm.
Not as the like uh, what's it like the first skill. It's usually like a
No,
secondary skill if that's something.
yeah. It's interesting to see because the skill of pressure points of this is if you hit your enemy in a specific way, it hurts them more. It's not the first skill a protagonist is gonna get
No,
usually.
it's usually
The first is
yeah.
usually is more like getting stronger hits and then some old wise sage will tell you, "Oh yes, but you can make more damage by hitting these special points,
Mm-hmm.
fighting the crack in your enemy's armor or something."
Yeah.
But here it's the first skill because he's not physically that strong,
Mm-hmm.
but he's very fast and can dodge a lot.
And he's also really smart. Like they
Mm,
showed that he had to like read a lot and actually like figure out the biology of creatures.
mm,
And
mm.
there are a lot of creatures in this world, so and he has to
Yeah.
figure like study all of them basically.
Yep.
So yeah, like brain over brawn in that case.
Mm.
Mm. And it's fun. It makes him a very big contrast to his father, who's very much only brawn.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, boss is definitely the leadership through power, leadership through physical strength,
Mm-hmm.
a man of action.
could say that that's his entire life goal in a way.
Yeah,
But we'll talk
yeah,
about him later. So,
yeah.
hmm.
Can we talk about? I don't have any more to say to Boji. Can we talk about Kage?
It's funny. I actually don't have much more either to say about Bochi right now.
Hmm.
I guess because he's not that complicated. He's just a not complicated character that works. I guess.
Yeah, he's he's very easy to reflect yourself on.
Hmm.
As a viewer, he's you just want to root for him, and he's an easy character to relate to. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah, and of course there is one specific thing about his character which we will talk about later. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, very important.
yes. So but yeah, let's talk about Kage. I gotta admit, I was surprised about how emotional I got about his backstory, Kage.
Yeah. Oh, so sad.
Hmm.
Again, do are we talking about the Karg's backstory later, or can we just spoil it all now? Oh yeah, by the way, spoilers, spoilers for all of this.
Yeah, well, half of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
I don't
But
think
yeah.
there's. No, I don't think his backstory specifically is mentioned later. You can talk about it.
Mm, but yeah, Kage is a it's a species, right?
They call it. They use the word clan, but
Yeah, clan
yeah,
shadow people, right?
like the Shadow Clan or something.
Yeah, and yeah, they got murdered. All of the clan, but not him.
Mm.
Um, in a massacre made. What was that by boss?
No, it
It
wasn't by
was.
boss. It was a different king.
It
Where
was a
okay,
different.
the story goes that the Shadow Clan they were like diehard loyal to this like one royal family apparently, and because of that
Mm,
they did all sorts of assassination work for them. But then all of a sudden, we don't know why. Then the king decided to kill all of them. I assume this is gonna get like expanded upon later.
mm,
Yeah, but something happened in that kingdom where these people who were apparently loyal for many generations, the king just decided to murder them all.
mm. And afterwards, he in extension to that, he was orphaned. His mother was killed,
Yeah.
and afterwards he was abused by a man uh, who used his powers to be a thief or do his dirty work to get more money.
Mm.
And yeah, he just got very bitter from it. As a adult, he just got very very bitter,
Mm.
and it was only when he met Boji he opened up again.
Yeah. Funny enough, you
And
could actually make the argument that for the first few episodes at least, then Kage is actually more of the main character because we're seeing a lot of it from his point of view, and he's
mm,
like the one doing all the both like talking and thinking.
mm,
Yeah.
Like he disappears for some episodes later on, but
mm,
but yeah, he works. His character works really well for the fact that since Boji can't talk, then
mm,
Kage is there basically to communicate not just to the other characters but also to the audience of like what Boji
yeah.
is thinking.
Mm.
I guess that's why he's in the shape of a shadow, maybe to like give it the
Oh,
whole metaphor like he has to be in Boji's shadow in order to make his character work.
mm, yeah.
Or maybe I'm reading too much into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, it's an interesting design choice.
Oh, definitely. Like he looks
I
like a
just
blob of ink with two eyes.
yeah,
I
but I
really,
really
really like
like
his mouth.
yeah, his mouth is
So
so
cool.
charming. It's just charming how they because they could easily just make his eyes move or make a little mouth down in the shadow blob. But
Mm.
no, they chose to make his mouth an extension of his what I would assume is his body.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's it's so charming character design. It makes it so interesting and makes it so easy for the eye of the viewer where to focus and
Mm.
what is what is the emotional markers on this character. Well, it's the eyes, and then we can see a mouth that is
Mm.
that is separate from the body, and it works very well.
Yeah. Generally, I would say that all of Kage's character works really well.
Mm,
Hmm.
yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
It's so it's it's such a good choice, both character design wise, but also animation wise,
Hmm.
because I would assume he's pretty easy to animate contra many
Yeah.
other characters. Again, not to say that animation is easy in any
I know,
in
but
any
with
circumstance.
him, there's like no limits with his
Yeah,
anatomy. You know,
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
don't have to think about muscles and bones or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Also,
They
it
can just
doesn't.
draw him.
Yeah,
You
and he
know.
also he
It,
changes sizes
mm,
depending on the
yeah,
shot, which
yeah.
also works for his. You know, like you could just say it's part of his like powers or something. So
Mm,
it works.
mm.
Hmm.
It's not very hard to go off model with him without it looking weird. You
Yeah.
can go very off model with him, and it still works.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Do we have anything more to add to Kage?
Uh,
nice, just he's just a good character.
You know, it's funny. I think this might be because like it just works. So the only thing we're like saying like yes, this works. We don't really have anything to really like discuss. We just agree that we're just saying some
Mm,
parts of it and saying yep, that works. Then moving on. But maybe we'll have more to talk about with later characters. We'll see.
mm.
So Queen Healing, and
Yeah.
for those who haven't realized it, her name Healing, and she has healing powers.
Mm,
Yeah.
uh,
Apparently, all the characters have a name that apparently like double meaning or something.
yeah.
So anyway, when she first appeared, um, like, and she appeared to be this like rude stepmother. I
Mm.
I
mm,
actually rolled my eyes and I was like, oh, one of these characters.
mm.
But then came her character was fleshed out and she quickly became one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
Yeah, she is. And she just wants what's best for Boji.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. And of course,
The
this.
backstory with her and how she got the trust from Boji, this is so
Mm,
So
tear-worthy.
sweet.
yeah, it really is.
The silhouette on her is very, very strong.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. The silhouette, she's very recognizable just from her silhouette. The hair, it's very, very lovely.
Mm.
Mm.
Just kind of remind me of like the chess piece of the queen.
Mm,
Yeah,
It has
and
like such a
she.
strong silhouette.
Yeah,
mm.
she actually gave
It's funny you
me.
said that, yeah,
Yeah. What you
because
say, Glenn?
yeah, it's funny you said chess piece because in the backstory with her and Bochi, she wears very much gaming iconography
Mm.
Mm.
with what was that mess, the Queens of Hearts or
Yeah, like the
something
Queen of
card
Hearts, like
card
the card
related.
games.
Yeah. So it's funny. I don't see the gaming expert ex the gaming thing about her, but
I think I can answer that
the
actually.
hmm?
It might be a reference to the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see the she's not very Alice in Wonderland Queens of Hearts in her personality at all.
No, but that
But
it might have been there to like a fake out, to give you the
yeah,
idea to
yeah,
like just with her character, like how she looks like this stern stepmother figure, like stern
mm,
queen.
yeah,
But then no, she's actually not. She's actually really cares deeply about Boji and wants what's best for him, and that of course like goes against again what Boji wants. Because she doesn't want Boji as king, she wants Daida as king.
mm,
And from her point of view, you really get it. Like Boji is, from what we've seen so far of like of his childhood and before he goes on his journey and all that, that he's a very adventurous kid who has gotten into trouble before, and if she wants to protect him, then it makes sense that she would try to have Daida to
mm,
become like king, even though it's not what Boji wants. So
yep, yeah,
mhm.
yeah.
Do we have anything
I'm
more to add?
nah. I'm very interested in because we have right now we don't know anything about how she got these powers or if we even gonna get a explanation
Okay,
at all.
I will
Is
say
it something from her family? It's very interesting.
there is one thing that we saw that, well, we don't know, but in the flashback where we see that when he first meets Boss, right? She was in what looked like a nun suit. So it
Yeah.
yeah,
Ooh,
so it could be sort of like healing. That's what like the priest or nuns do.
uh, yeah.
But
It,
that's the
it could
only
be.
thing I have there.
Yeah.
Because in terms of like powers,
Mm,
we don't really know whether magical powers that's something they're born with or it's something that's taught.
mm. And
Like
if it's something normal or something abnormal.
yeah, because I mean maybe we don't know why she was like Boss chose her as his queen, like second queen. So it could be that she's actually her healing powers are abnormally good, or the fact that she has
Mm,
them is abnormal in itself.
it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, but again we don't know. But
Mm,
the fact that the those uh, like the strongest warriors of the kingdom, like the man with the spear and the man with the snakes and the shield
mm,
people,
mm,
none of them have shown any sort of magical powers. So,
mm.
and they're the strongest people in this kingdom. So it's very well probable that magical powers is at the very least a rarity. I would assume
It would
anyway.
seem so, yeah. Yeah. I'm very excited to see how her character develops even further.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
me too.
Hmm.
Be-
Especially now that
because
we're
right now
going
she is
into,
in a pinch.
yeah, we're heading towards civil war basically,
Yeah.
and with a different kingdom interfering, sending their own like that the devil guy or Satan guy, whatever
Mm.
you want. What was he called? It was something with a D, I think.
I
Uh,
have them right here. Desha. Deshpa.
Despa.
Despa.
All right.
So yeah.
Yeah, the guy who's apparently really whose face is really ugly. Apparently,
Yeah.
so ugly he destroyed his own statue.
Oh no, Despa is his brother. He's the handsome one. Desha.
Desha.
D. Yeah, Desha is the ugly one.
Oh,
D-E-S-S-H-A. Her. Despa is the brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, anyway, should we move on to Daida, or do we have to say more
Yeah.
about Queen Helen? Okay. So, Prince Daida.
Hmm.
I gotta admit, I think he might actually be my favorite character.
Really?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I really like Prince Daida. Only after he was whole like he
Hot.
rejected drinking that stuff and wanted to
Ah.
reach the heights of a true king on his own terms.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I don't
So
know if I have warmed up completely to him yet because he was
Perhaps
such a
a little,
dick. He
little
was just
unsure about him.
he was just such a dick to Boji, and you can't be a dick to Boji, the good boy, the angel, and again,
I will say that that's the fault of the mirror. The mirror
hmm,
manipulated him from when he was like very young.
uh, oh my
Also
god, the
from
mirror.
I specifically
Character.
I think we should wait to talk about the mirror until next time because then we'll know
Yeah,
more about her or it,
yeah,
whatever it is.
but the mirror, oh my god, a character.
Yes. I will
Yes,
not say anything about the mirror until we finish
yeah,
because
that's
I feel like I want to
that's
know
Trump's
everything so I
answer.
can get my full experience before I can talk about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But yeah, I really like Daida because I see a lot of potential for character development here. Like he's already a character with a lot of sides to him, and I see that at the end of this journey, there's gonna be a lot of character development,
Mm,
and that's why I really like Daida.
mm.
And
I'm
also,
looking forward to see how he redeems himself for Boji.
mhm.
What will he do?
Okay, I have actually a theory here. I think the first
Okay,
season is gonna end up with Daida actually becoming king of this kingdom, and then Boji and Kage is gonna go out into the world and then do their own thing, and and yeah, they're gonna have lots of adventures and maybe form their own kingdom. Who knows? And yes, that's what I think is season one is gonna end up with.
mm,
But and then
I
they
don't
then
know.
Daida
But
and
this
Boji are gonna become good friends, of course. We'll see.
when we started this series, the first episode and the second episode, again, no, it was already in the end of the first episode. I think it just started so simple. I just thought it was a simple fantasy story, but it just turned around. So I can see the story go north, east, west,
Yeah.
whatever.
Like
Hmm.
everything with Bodhi seemed like pretty normal. Even like his whole story where he goes on that trip and almost dies and stuff. It
Hmm.
seems like, you can kind of expect that. But
Mm,
the
yeah.
story with Daida, it's like you did not see that coming.
Yeah, actually, I think that this whole story with like whenever Boji left for his journey and whatever, but every time we were focusing on the kingdom without Boji, that was actually my favorite parts because it was just so
Wait,
interesting everything that was happening with both Daida and the Queen and the Mirror, and I was just like, what is happening?
okay, I didn't see Domus his betrayal where he kicked Boji down down the demon well or something.
Well, to the underworld, like portal to
Yeah,
the underworld or something.
yeah. I didn't see that coming at all.
Uh, I did not see that either.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't choose a side of the story I like more than the other.
Should we say I liked all of the story? I just felt
Yeah, yeah.
this part more interesting. But yeah. So now,
I'm
yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to see where Dida is gonna go, or how he's gonna get out of the pinch he's in right now.
Well, I assume that Boji is gonna save him somehow, and I think
I wouldn't be surprised if that part is doesn't have anything with Boja to do.
yeah, because there is the entire scene inside, maybe inside Dida, and he meets what I assume is like a child version of the mirror or whatever. So I
Mm.
think there's gonna be more to it than that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Maybe it's gonna end up with something I completely did not see
Yeah.
coming. I would not put it past this show. Who
Yeah.
knows? Like Dida is gonna fuse with the thing in the mirror, and that's gonna be the final boss or something. I don't know.
It could go.
It
It
could
could
go
go.
anywhere, really.
Mm.
So anyway, let's before we move on, let's talk about King Boss.
Mm.
Yeah.
And by the way, what a power name, Boss.
Yeah.
So he's a character that I did not expect to get the development that he got.
No.
Like
No.
I really when he died, I thought, well, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I actually when me and Lad we saw this and they revealed that King Boss had taken over Dida's body. I actually yelled out loud because of how big of a shock it was.
Oh.
Oh my god! And I,
Yeah, and
yeah,
everything. It's again again. Boss is maybe a good king, but he is a terrible father.
oh, he's like the worst father.
Yeah, he's the worst.
Like
Like he did
he,
both of his kids dirty.
yeah, like
Mm.
I think he at the very you can give it to him that it seems like that Boji at least had some happy child, like had a happy upbringing to some degree at least, but that does not make up for everything else.
No.
And he does it so nonchalantly. Like
Mm.
once he like in the flashback he says that, oh well, then I have to get a wife and I have to get a kid. All right, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
Like
Like just a normal thing.
yes. And then once that he wakes up in Dida's body and he seems like, oh well, seems like I sacrificed another kid now.
Yeah. Oh.
Man, what a guy.
Yeah, he's a
He
man with ambitions.
he knows what he wants. You gotta give him that.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But I'm interesting to why is he interested to why was he interested in coming back
Mm. See, I think
again?
there's something there because it seems like that he's not fully on board with like the Mirror's plan to kill the Queen and everything else. So to me at least, it seems like that he's after he's come back into Dida's body, that he's begun to work a little bit against what the Mirror wants,
Yeah.
but
Mm.
not completely. So I think it's more like he's not going to actively try to help what the Mirror is doing, but he's also not going to try to stop the Mirror. He's just going to like see how things goes.
Mm.
Mm.
So it'll be interesting. I think there's a lot more to this than what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
To his character.
Yeah, to his
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
But he still wins like a worst father of the year though. Like I'm sure that we could find worse anime fathers out there, but he's
I'm
up
sure.
there.
Yeah,
Mm.
he's not a good man. He really isn't.
No, he might be a good king, but
Yeah.
Mm.
apparently he was number 7 in the ranking of kings,
Oh.
and he was number 1 in terms of strength.
Yeah, of course.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, apparently that guy in the underworld, he was number 2.
Oh, this year. Wow.
Yeah, he was number 2. So he's a really good. He must be a really
Yeah,
good king. Like there's a reason they gave him a statue apparently. Hmm.
it's funny. It's funny that both of them are not very good people, but they are good leaders.
Yeah, maybe that's the point. That's why he's not number one. That he's a really good king, but he misses that like really good person thing, and that's what
Yeah,
Boji will have once he becomes king. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. And oh yeah, by the way, I couldn't help but just laugh a little bit when Daida when he became king and he was number 99
oh
and his father
yeah,
was 7. That's damn.
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he hasn't really had a time to really rule yet,
Mm.
so I feel like okay, that guy who came out and took his ranking, shouldn't he like have waited a year or something?
Yeah, he really should have.
I
Yeah,
mean, like, how does
it's
this
a bit
ranking
unfair.
system work? Like, does he
That's
just
what I've
come
been
around
thinking
at random
today.
times or something?
Yeah.
Because like you can apparently go up and down in rankings. So is there a specific like a specific time that that guy just goes around to different kingdoms,
Maybe.
or do you have to like send a message like I want to be ranked now or something? I think
Maybe
I'm ready for a rank up.
you just need to be the best king all the time.
Yeah, and then you can get your wishes fulfilled apparently.
Yeah, they get some item,
Yeah,
some and the I don't remember. Oh my god. Oh
yeah. Apparently you I think you can get like one wish, and it said that all the kings always wished for the same thing, and it all either killed them or turned them insane. And by the
yeah.
way, I think that's what that old king that Boji who found he found in the woods who was clearly cray cray. He might have been a former number one king.
Yeah, he was Crickery,
Yeah,
the wild king or something.
hmm. Who
Yeah,
considered eating Boji.
yeah,
I don't think Boji would have been that good to eat. Like look at how small he is. Not that much meat on him.
yeah. That king was weird, or was he even the king?
He had a crown. Come on.
Maybe he was just some weird guy out in the
Yeah.
forest wearing a crown. Yeah,
Like,
Maybe
but
he made
why?
a king.
Maybe. But I mean, why would they talk about that kings becoming crazy and then shortly after show a crazy guy with a crown in the woods? I'm just saying.
yeah, yeah. It's convenient.
Yeah.
It's very convenient.
Who knows? Maybe it was just the random, I don't know, filler. But
I I I actually think the character was very interesting, and I think there's some merit to what you're saying.
hmm, I hope we'll get to see that character again. He was, I like him.
Yeah,
Maybe.
get an explanation, maybe who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like that.
And also, I also really want to see that a bit of a jump here, but that kid that helped Kage back in his flashback.
The kid?
Yeah, 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 the little girl.
Oh, I
What?
don't remember her.
I
What?
remember she had like a doll that she opened up and then Kage hid inside in his
Oh
flashback.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yes. Yeah, I
Oh my
would like
god,
to see more
yeah.
of her.
Hmm.
Of course we're gonna see her again.
Yeah, I think she's gonna become an important character later.
I think so.
I'm hoping she becomes queen of her own nation, and then Boji meets her, and then she'll be like, um, "I won't tell you who I am before you've done some quest." Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I hope they do something with her.
Mm.
So anyway,
I really hope we get some more with Bebin and the snakes. I like the snakes.
Oh, I really like that snake.
And we need to talk about more about Bebin in the
yeah,
next.
he's fantastic, but we'll talk about him later.
Yeah. I'm gonna shut up about him from now because he's such an interesting character.
We could talk about all of the characters because they're worth
Yeah,
talking about,
it's
but
true.
we can't. Not right now,
All
anyway.
characters are good.
Yes.
They all have something good to them. Either if it's design wise, personality wise, story
Mm.
wise. Oh, it's
Yeah, and we both thought that Bevin was evil. We were
yeah, we
so
all thought the
convinced.
guy, the guy with the snakes,
And
the guy
when
with the snakes that follows one of the main characters is not that.
yes, like
What?
he's dressed in all black and he has like black under the eyes and like he looks like Scar from Lion King and he's not evil.
Yeah, and
Like
he
what
has the
is
crazy
this?
sword. Ah,
Uh,
yeah,
anyway,
and he's actually protecting Boji, and oh my god,
yes,
oh my god.
but he's actually supporting Died as King. So
Mm,
interesting character. No, anyway, moving on. I think we should. I think we're done with character analysis for now.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, outside the norm. So these are this is Boji alongside two of the other animes that were going the same season, and I'm the one who chose this subject. Basically, this anime doesn't really follow like the what you normally expect from an anime.
Yeah.
We don't have any of the what do you call it, like cliches or uh,
Types.
yeah, character types. So it's very much it's funny that this is an anime that's very not anime-ish, and it
Yeah.
I gotta say, as one who watches a lot of anime, is a big it's a breath of fresh air,
Yeah.
yeah.
like a lot. Like I love anime and uh, but
Sometimes the
it's just,
tropes can
it's
choke
yeah.
the story.
Sometimes you can roll your eyes and you can like you want something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be a bit too much.
Yeah, and I that's one also one thing that I will admit about anime, the medium. Like most anime is made for anime fans. So yeah, but this one it feels like very much it's its own thing.
Mm.
Like it wasn't trying to be an anime to if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's a good story, but the medium it chose to represent itself through its anime.
Yeah,
Where if you take some other animes, I can't see them outside the medium of anime.
yeah. Like most anime you can recognize as being anime because of how they presented themselves or just how it's
How
made
it
and
felt.
yeah, how it is
Mm.
basically. Where I feel like I could easily like show this thing to a non-anime fan, and they wouldn't realize that it's anime. They could easily believe that this was made somewhere else than Japan.
Mm.
Like if I didn't know it was anime, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be my. I don't think it would be my first thought.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, it could yeah, it could be Western animation actually.
it
I,
could
I
be.
wouldn't be
French or
surprised.
something.
Yeah.
Hmm. And I actually would like it if some anime studios try to do more of this
Yeah.
Mm.
because again I love anime and I love the different like anime tropes, but it's
Mm.
nice to see something different also. And I also think they
And
would make it a lot more accessible to a lot of different people because most people when they think anime they have a very narrow idea about what an anime is, and I think a big part of that is actually anime is like own fault.
mm,
Hmm.
it
Because it
regurgitates its own tropes again and
yeah,
again, and
there is the
it's very
really that yeah, there's the really good quote by wasn't it Miyazaki that said
yeah.
that the anime was a mistake
Mm.
because it very much a lot of the same characters and same story that being said, like made again and again.
Yeah.
Again, anime doesn't take inspiration from real world. It takes inspiration from itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Hmm.
Mm.
And I think that's, as long as it does that, it will continue to be a niche. Like it's become a very big niche, but it's, I would still say that anime is a niche.
Yeah.
Mm.
Kinda.
Yeah. Not to say that there aren't animes that don't break the norm, but like the majority don't. And also, even those that break the norm, they don't tend to go as far as this show goes. I would be hard pressed to find an anime that breaks the norm as much as this one does.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
Off the top of my head, I can't think either. What about
Maybe
you, Vlad?
Moomin. Like Moomin, it is technically anime. It was
What
made
is
in
what?
Japan.
What
Moomin.
were, like the trolls?
Moomy? The
Yeah, Moomy.
Moomy Trolls?
Yeah.
Oh
It
It's
yeah,
is
Western. It's
anime.
Western animation, but
No, I'm pretty sure it was made in Japan.
no. Like the creator of the movie
oh
trolls was Finnish.
Yeah,
yeah,
it did
yeah.
a
But
Finnish
some of
story,
the
but animated in
animation
Finland.
were actually animated in Japan. You're right.
Yeah, it is anime. It
But
just
then again, now we're
it's
talking
based
about how
on a
much of the
stop motion
production.
made in Finland, but
Yeah.
it's not finished.
But then again, now we are talking about how much of the production needs to be in Japan before it's anime. That's a hard question, actually.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
question in itself because
Yeah, that's a question in itself. How
because
much?
because there's also
How
like
much anime is moving through?
personally I wouldn't consider moving an anime, but you
No,
could certainly make the argument. I can see
yeah,
like
it's. I just relate so much of Moo Trolls to Finland.
yeah,
It's I
yeah.
can't. Maybe it's because of the characters and all the other. It's mostly because of the characters. I can't.
Mm.
It's just I have. I'm a little bit of loss of words. They're very weird. It's
Well, they're
and
made for
then
kids,
I
so
hear what?
well they're made for kids.
Yeah,
So it's
of
supposed to
course.
be like
But
weirdish.
then I hear it's an animation from Finland. Oh, okay, fine. Maybe their animation. I haven't seen any other animations from Finland, so I guess Movie Trolls is their things is their
Mm.
thing.
yeah,
Well, I guess.
Yep.
Hmm. Okay, if the animated series of Moomins were like made in Japan, then I guess the yeah, the animated versions are animes. I guess I can agree with that. But then we are talking about something completely different now. Hmm.
yeah,
Because I know this was made based on Ranking of Kings. I know this was based on a webcomic actually. But as far as I know, the webcomic itself is Japanese. So
Oh, what was that anime? Actually, one anime that that I think about when I see Ranking of Kings is a what is that the thing? Yeah, Isokin. Keep your hands off Isokin. There's something about the style. Maybe it's the very round characters. It just reminds me a little bit about that that aesthetic. Very round, very friendly, very warm. Yeah, warm is the right word. It's very warm.
mm,
So, but now I'm looking at it, and it's not even the same thing. Ranking of Kings has a very special place in the anime niche. It
yeah,
I haven't seen anything like it. Again, I like my anime with highly stylized clothing, detailed and very action design that invites action
Hmm.
is maybe what I'm hinting to.
Oh, I just realized something. We'll talk about the artwork later, so we have to be careful about how
Ah,
much we
okay,
talk.
okay, okay, wait. Thanks.
Yeah. So
Well, yeah,
anyway,
yeah, it's very outside the norm.
that it is very different than what it is. Not. It's not Soul Eater. It's one of these animes that are on here. It's something Soul. Letting you know it.
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. That was it.
Yeah.
I was so close. Demon Slayer Soul Eater. Like it's close, right? The,
Oof. Oof.
and Attack on Titan is the other one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else I want to mention here? No. And we'll talk about some of the stuff later, so I think we'll just move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you can talk about the art style again, but.
Yeah, but I will let Anne start out.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I chose this topic because to me it feels like a passion project.
Mm.
It feels like the person who came up with this idea and the style just finished animation school because the art style really reminds me of what you would see in an animation school. Uh, and to me it feels like the person who came up with this and came up with Boji have maybe a son themselves, and they're projecting their son into this character, Boji.
Mm.
So to me, overall, the art style and how it is, it just feels like it's a passion project,
Yeah, like it feels
especially the
very
art style.
personal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I agree with you actually. And this very much feels like the story itself, with how it's presented. It feels like the kind of story that you would tell as a bedtime story to your kid.
yeah,
Mm. And I think the artwork really helps with that, like the art style. Yeah.
yeah, it does.
Right now, I'm looking at some of the panels from the webcomic, and it's very it's cool to see that they have basically taken the most striking features of the characters from the webcomic and then anime-niced it. If you understand what I'm saying, they have refined them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, and
Oh,
it made me
I
feel.
just took the webcomic up. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Mm, yeah, you see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I do. It's very. I don't know what to like say. It reminds me of uh, like the One Punch Man, the
Yeah.
webcomic, like where the manga is not as high quality as I would expect from after having seen the
Yeah.
like the anime.
Mm.
But that
Well,
makes this
it's
makes
maybe high
sense.
quality. High quality is maybe the wrong
Yeah,
wrong
it's not the
term.
right word,
It's
but
not as refined.
yeah, refined. But it looks like
Yeah,
a webcomic.
yeah. It looks like a webcomic.
Mm-hmm.
I really like some of the that. Again, I'm on the internet, so I can tell you scroll down to page dot dot dot. But I can see a picture of Dida. It's cool to see that. Yeah, that's him. And also in the anime, yeah, I can see how they made these design choices,
Mm.
and they just bring the character from the webcomic to animation
Mm.
without 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 losing the original character.
Yeah. Also, it should be said that the studio that's animating this is Wit Studio, and
Yeah,
they're known for being like one of the best.
that they can't do
Okay.
something. They can't do anything wrong. Basically,
Yeah, they
they're
haven't
God.
made that they haven't made that many animes, but all the animes that they've made have been masterpieces.
They found the hidden recipe to always doing a good animation work.
Mm.
It's actually it's a good story in itself.
Yeah. So, which studio have made Vinland Saga and this? Like, damn.
Oh,
That,
isn't that the Viking one?
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a good record. It's a
Yes.
very good track record. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
With studios, I'm
Yeah, there's something one thing on online that I see a lot. It's about everyone wants Wit Studio to make an anime of Berserk.
oh
Yeah, because last time Berserk got an anime, it didn't end up that well. So now
that
they,
was the 3D one, right?
yeah.
Uh, yeah.
So, but that's
Well,
an entire different media.
where were we? Oh yeah, art style. That's right. I
And
was fandoming too much about which
by the way, look
studio.
at the like in this picture here with the queen. What a really good shot to giving the false like impression that
Yeah,
she's bad. Like we're
Yeah.
looking up at her and she's looking at like at her down at Boji, and
she's not even turning her face towards him. She's scoffing down at him.
Mm.
She's having her very pointing nose in it's to the sky and still just turning her eye just a bit to actually see him. It's
actually the
so
only character of those three characters, the only one that looks like he's gonna be a good guy, is the guy with the blonde hair, like the SWAT guy. But he's the one who later goes on to try to kill Boji.
Yeah.
Like it's so well set up.
yeah.
Oh
It,
my god.
oh, and it's just the backstory with him and Boji. Isn't that just before he actually betrayed him?
Yeah, it
As I
is.
remember. Yeah, it's just before that. Oh, yeah. That that's also something you can really fuck someone over with art style or how
Yeah,
you
and they do
portray
it
a
on
character visually.
purpose. Oh,
So yeah,
the art style is great. Honestly,
it's great.
when
It's just
it was the reason that I felt that this would be an interesting one to pick for this. Like, I saw the trailer and I was like, huh, that's different.
yeah.
So, I, it was as I was good enough to make me interested in this, and I don't regret it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think it complements the story very well,
Oh,
the
I
art style,
agree.
because the complex. It's funny. We have a very what I would say an not complex art style. It's
Mm.
very at first glance it seems very simple,
Yeah, like a
even
simple
though
fantasy
it's
story.
not. Yeah, it portrays this very simple fantasy story, but all the characters, the story behind the story, it
Mm.
just it just adds a complexity to something that we thought was very
Yeah,
not
basically I
complex,
thought it was a
very
Disney
simple.
movie when we first started,
Yeah,
but then
yeah,
it ended up being so much more. It's
yeah.
like it's a really complex story happening in a Disney movie.
Mm, yeah.
Like this is complicated Cinderella.
Complicated Cinderella.
Yes,
Yeah.
like Cinderella rewritten with deep characters.
I really like how again I you don't the the scene where he walks around in the armory
Hmm?
with Despa. The
Yeah,
lighting in
and he
that,
has to pick a weapon.
yeah, the lighting in that scene was very pretty. It, every scene with direct sunlight, like when he stands in the kitchen here in Despa's kitchen, it's very pretty. It's very Studio
Good.
Ghibli actually, as
Yeah,
I think
Studio
about
Ghibli. Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
Yeah, very soft and very tasty.
Mm,
I can taste the picture, and it tastes like new warm bakery.
it does. Baked goods.
Mm, baked goods. So yeah, the lighting is very soft and very, yeah. It complements the characters very well. Most of the characters has these very soft round shapes. Um, yeah, most of them actually. As I
Hmm.
think about it, I can't think of any character. What character doesn't go for this? Most of, as I can see, all of them actually has these soft forms. The way the way that they portray sharpness is is some places in the character, like the queen's nose and Desha's chin and mustache and teeth.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But again, every time we see again, we're gonna talk about Desha, but we find out that he's maybe not that bad a person anyway.
Hmm.
He's still a good king and everything. So it's the character designs and
Yeah,
the art
realize
hmm?
to Desha. Yeah,
Desha.
Desha. When remember when those criminals they escaped, and there's that guard. He's sleeping on. He's basically sleeping on his duty, isn't he?
Yeah,
And
he is.
Desha doesn't really punish him that hard. That
No.
shows that he's very much at least a fair king,
Mm,
because it wasn't actually his fault that they escaped, because it was because of the mirror and outside forces.
yeah.
So
He he doesn't outright just punish the guard.
no, he
He
actually
finds out
says it wasn't your fault because it was outside forces that did it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's fair in his judgment, I would say,
Mm,
even if he was a little mean to Boji. But
yeah.
as a king, he's fair. I would give him that much.
Mm,
Mm,
So should we move on?
yeah.
yeah.
Hero's journey,
Yeah.
and yeah, the picture you're seeing here is basically a general idea about what the hero's journey is, and I would say
And
that what?
again, we have seen right now we have seen the
Yeah,
transformation part of this, and now we are on our way back to the
the kingdom basically,
yeah, to the kingdom.
or whatever we started.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we're not finished, and maybe they're gonna throw a winch into the journey back. So we don't know how it's gonna is going to end out. But
Hmm.
right now, the journey is following very very well the hero's journey formula.
Yeah.
Um, again, there are some complications with Domus Domus outright betraying him.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Well, you could say
he's
that's a part of the whole abyss, death, and rebirth thing.
yeah, right,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Damn, where did you find this picture? I'm actually a little scared how well it complements the story of Boji.
On TV
We have
tropes, hero's
actual
journey. It's a
yeah.
trope on TV tropes, dude.
Oh damn! I didn't
It's the
know. I
picture,
just
the first picture that comes up on tvtropes.org
wow.
when you
Well,
search hero's
I
journey.
learned something. I learned something, dear viewers. I learned something. Isn't that wonderful? So yeah, it follows very well. But I think the reason why I'm very interested in it, because if it's was just a hero's journey, I think I would be a little bored by some episodes. But
Mm.
because we have this underlying subplot,
Yeah, we
um,
have generally, I would say we have more than one subplot actually.
and we have more than one subplot, and I would hardly call it a subplot because it's such an integral part of how the journey is
Yeah,
gonna
like it's all
evolve.
connected.
Yeah, it's all connected.
Like there's that entire scene where Daida he's dreaming, I think, and like there's this box, like Pandora's box, basically,
Yeah,
and his only hope is his brother, and is he going like the mirror is telling him to open the box, and then there's some other voice telling him to not do that, and it's basically the fact that his brother is in that dream that really shows how everything is connected. I would say.
yeah,
Yes.
Like even when Boji isn't around, he's important to what's happening to Daida, and also with everything that's happening with Queen Healing, her entire character, like
development,
what what
development.
no, not development, like her like goal or what to say has to do
Ah,
with Boji. Like the reason she wants Daida to become king is to protect Boji. The reason she does really anything has to do with Boji and what he's doing.
yeah.
So it's all and yeah, it's all connected.
Hmm. But yeah, it complements this very, in contrast to all the others, all the other plots. Boji is probably the least complicated
Yeah.
in terms of story.
Mm-hmm.
So it complements all the other stories very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have a lot of questions in the other stories, but Boji's is very about the journey and about his development.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
also in the side stories, that's also where we find out a lot of things about Boji. Actually, we see some of Boji's flashbacks. When his flashback for Boji's also in it, and that's also where we find like, for example, when we see Boss's flashback, then where
Mhm.
he's doing that deal with the devil thingy,
Yeah.
and then we know, oh, so that's why Boji is like that. So
Mhm.
it's not downright like stating it, but then we as the audience can figure out because we're not stupid, like the connection.
Yeah.
Like when Boss in the flashback is saying, "Oh, so I have to sacrifice my kid or his strength, my kid's strength or something," then we know,
Mm.
oh, he's talking about Boji,
Yeah.
even though it's not specifically about Boji, like the flashback.
Mm.
So I actually think that the show is really good like that. It knows that the audience isn't or aren't idiots.
It's-
So it doesn't have to come down right out and say what it wants to say. It can just give it
mm.
enough of it that we can figure it out on our own.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to do well, but it does.
Mm. It's a fine balance act.
Yeah. And I would say the balancing act in this show is perfect. Like
Phenomenal.
yes.
Legendary.
It's perfect equilibrium.
Perfect equilibrium.
Exactly.
Oh my god, we brought that that joke into the show. No.
What have we become?
What have we become? What have we done? Perfect equilibrium.
Uh,
Oh no, I'm dying.
Oh.
Fuck.
Uh,
Are you okay?
sorry, the show just got too funny. I'm dying.
Internal jokes, I'm sorry.
Uh,
Uh,
you do stall.
and
Well,
anything you want to add to this?
What?
Uh, It's mostly been me and Lad talking about the hero's
Yeah,
journey.
I've nothing to say about it. Sorry.
Fair enough.
that's fine.
Hmm.
Well, should we?
Move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Alright.
Let's move on our journey.
Is the use of a disabled protagonist. So, a disabled protagonist is something that you actually don't see that often in, I was going to say anime shows, but really like in
Any media.
fiction in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say they managed to do it here, and I would think they've done a really good job of it.
Mm,
Hmm. Like the character, he's both like he can hear and he can talk,
yeah.
and the way it's like presented in this show is that it makes a lot of things a lot harder for him, but
Mm,
he manages to persevere and get through all the challenges in his life regardless of the
Yeah.
problems that he's born with.
Like
And
you don't ever pity him.
no,
Like there's no need to
no.
pity him because
no,
he's fine.
exactly, he's not a person to be pitied, but he's a person to be respected for
Yeah.
the way that he's handling like his life basically.
Mm,
And there's a scene that I really like. It's a flashback scene where um, Larry, you could his name, the snake guy.
Pippin.
Yeah, Beben. When Beben is like training Daida, and Daida is all like looking down at Boji, saying that, oh, I can't, like, I'm so much better than Boji because like I don't have these like disabilities and I'm so much stronger, yada yada. And then Beben takes him out into town and he shows him a blind, and I think they also said that he was also deaf person. And then like Daida says that he wouldn't be able to go on living if he was like that. And then Bebe tells him that that means that you're actually weaker, that you're a weak person like compared to these people because they manage to like live life despite what they're born with,
Mm,
and
mm.
that's a sign of strength. So they're actually like stronger than him in that regard, and that I
And
think
what
that's what.
example to set? What a good example to set for kids. It's so good.
Yeah, like generally, what a great like worldview.
Mm,
Like, and yeah, it is actually a little a shame that we don't see more like disabled protagonists really because like
I would love to see more of that.
yeah,
mm.
I would too actually, but I can also understand like why we don't see it that much because especially with anime where it's very much escapist fiction.
Yeah.
So where that's when we are seeing this fantasy character that's a fictional character that's supposed to be like the best it can be, and we're supposed to project ourselves into that character and have a really good time. So when that character is like looks really good, it's like good and everything, and have really good success, then it's supposed to be like a drug for us, and like then we're also feeling great.
Yeah. It's yeah. Again, you said that anime is escapist fantasy.
Yeah,
Again,
that's why something like Sword Art Online is getting really popular.
yeah.
Like just putting that out there.
I hate that fucking anime.
Well, a lot of people like it because they can project themselves into character, and then
Yeah,
they're like the super
because
guy. They're
because the
basically
protagonist is a stale piece of bread.
yes, he has no character. That means that
Yes,
it's
no character.
easier to project yourself into him.
Yourself in them. Yes. Ah. Yeah. On the other spectrum, Boji is a fucking interesting pair character.
He is like,
because
yeah,
he doesn't let his disabilities get him down. He fights even if he has these disabilities. And
he finds a
yeah, he
way to
gets
get
sad.
out of it.
Yeah, and he gets sad sometimes. He really gets down and
Mm.
just feels shit, but he gets up again and again. That's, oh my god, what a great example to set for young
Yeah,
people.
like even if
To,
things are tough, like
yeah,
just keep trying.
it's
It'll be all right in the end. Don't worry.
yeah,
Go
it's
for it, my
okay.
friend.
Not because he's never sad. He's not a character that just tough it's out. He
Hmm.
actually gets down on the knees and cries and gets very sad, and then he gets up again, and that's the important part. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
and there's
Oh
the scene where he has to he has that fight with Daida.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and he actually ends up losing the fight, but that's because that he's being like forced to fight on Daida's terms.
Yeah.
So the lesson there is that he has to fight on his own terms. He has to find out what works for him and not
Hmm.
be like what they expect him to be. Instead, he
Yeah.
should be like the best that he could be. Like find out what's what style of fighting is his style, not his father's style, like they
Yeah.
Yeah.
want him to have.
Yeah. Because if he's forced to do it as all the other people, will of course he will fail in that.
Yeah,
But
because he's not the same as the other people.
it's not the other. He's not the same.
Hmm.
Oh my god, so good values. Oh my god.
And we're getting all this from a character who hasn't said a single word. Is
No.
that if this isn't art, I don't know what is.
There's also
So,
another thing which I mentioned in a text earlier,
mm,
is that I really think he's autistic.
Hmm. What
yeah.
makes you
Both
say that?
Why?
both because of his behavior and because of statistics. Because
Statistics?
statistically,
Yeah.
autistic people are more likely to be deaf, to be born deaf, and to
Hmm.
be born mute. So I really think he's autistic.
Well, about that, he's deaf and mute because of a curse, right? So I'm not sure if that holds up.
Maybe or maybe not. Again, it could be that his that the only thing that was taken away from him was his strength.
Oh, so you mean
Yeah,
like
I think
his
so.
like being deaf and mute is natural?
Maybe.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
it
it could
is.
be. Yeah.
No.
I mean, we know
But
he's
also
giant,
like,
so yeah.
But I'm more interested, and what what in his behavior is autistic? Because
I mean,
I
it's
don't
not
know
super
shit about.
autistic, but um, like when he walks home from the field almost naked,
Mm.
and
In his
everyone
in
is
his
laughing at
underwear.
him, he's
Yeah.
like hiding. Like he's kind of naive, but there he's just pretending to not notice that people are laughing at him. Like he's not addressing it. He's just hiding the pain for later.
Mm.
Which, from what I've heard from autistic people, they do, understand that people are laughing at them, but they really hide their pain.
I
So,
saw that scene more like because he wants to become king and he's the crown prince,
Yeah.
so he has to like go among the people with a certain like air of respect and like
mm,
strength. So
E-
like
e- Even though it's an embarrassing situation, it would be better. It would be better for his, would you say, his reputation for walking headstrong through the
mm,
crowd than taking the back alleys and hiding himself.
yeah, yeah,
But
like it's
but
the strongest
but
of
the other,
leaders that
the
can do
other
something like weird in public, but then be like
mm,
respectful.
yeah,
mm.
Mm,
But the other spectrum of him maybe being autistic is definitely an interesting aspect
yeah. But
that
I
could be
also,
read into.
I
I
also
think
think
it's a
it
stretch.
like
I think
really plays into my idea of it being a passion project that the creator has a son himself that is a lot like Bochi. That this creator might want, to want some proper representation of what his son is struggling with.
Who is the creator?
What?
Who
The
is the
the
creator?
creator
I
is
have
a
no
guy
fucking
called
clue.
Susuke Toka.
Like,
How
I
old
don't
is he?
even know if this guy have a son or anything, but
I can
it
try
just
to
gives me
Google the
the
guy.
feeling
Yeah,
that he have a son.
it would be interesting. What Suzuki?
I just googled him. He had an interview on Anime News
Find
Network.
the age on the guy.
Well, when he said that when he published, he had his manga debut at age 41.
Oh wow,
Okay,
Oh
he
wow.
said here that he's had an easygoing life and he's single and he has nobody to provide for.
good to know
Oh
he's
well.
single.
Is it his own
Yes.
words?
Men and ladies, we have we have a prime candidate.
And also, he says this. Okay, now I'm quoting him. I've
Hmm.
always felt uneasy about what I wanted to do, and I didn't enjoy my life. It was inevitable that sooner or later I would go down the path of a manga artist. Damn.
What?
Yeah, the industry is ruthless. Yeah.
Okay, he mentioned he comments on the character being deaf here. The
Mm,
deaf character aspect often gathers attention, but honestly speaking, it's an extra thing. It's not the primary theme I was trying to grapple with in this manga.
interesting because again we think it as a very interesting aspect of this character, but in his mind it's a very extra thing. It's
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
would
not
have thought that would be one of like the biggest things with his character, but
yeah, because if you take the ability to communicate or to communicate traditionally as we see it in what is it called in audio. Again, we as most people that talk with sound.
hmm,
So it's when you take that ability away from a character to communicate audibly, it it's it it changes how the viewer relates to that character automatically.
Mm,
yeah,
And again, I don't I, I don't understand Boji when he's talking at
hmm.
all.
me neither.
That's why we have Kage, of course.
Yeah, that's why we have Kage. And again, I understand the feeling he's trying to portray. I understand when he's angry or determined or
Mm,
sad, but that's pretty much how I understand him audibly
mm,
or even visually. All the other connection, all the other connections goes through the all the other all the other connection parts I have to this character is through his actions and through his um
Like the way he's had an effect on other characters.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And yeah, and how he and his his journey, how that affects him, how he affects characters and how they affect him.
Hmm.
And that's never portrayed through dialogue, which is such a big part of all other media. I can actually not think about some media that's not portrayed through again some media that's not portrayed through some resemblance of all of dialogue.
Mm.
So it's yeah, it's funny to think that the creator do, doesn't think that's a big part of Boji as a character, but we as viewers certainly think
Yeah, it's the
that has a big
first
effect.
thing I think about when I like.
Yeah, yeah. I think I almost think that his lack of strength is a detail
Mm.
compared to his lack of being able to speak or hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So damn, that's an interesting aspect.
Mm.
Oh, I'm so happy that we found that out. We found some comment on that.
Yeah, the entire interview goes into a lot of other stuff, but you should just read it for yourself. Really, I'm not going to go through the entire interview. It's not
No,
here.
no, no,
It's
no,
not for
no,
here
no,
and now.
no, no. It's fine.
Hmm.
Yeah, good that we got that in.
Yes. So, anything else we want to add to this?
No.
Nay, nay, I say.
All right, then we're moving on. Tasteful violence. This is yours, Anne.
Yes. It's. I think it's because of the art style that they can get away with a lot of really gory scenes, like when they blended Boss and tried
God,
to
yeah.
make Jida drink him. Like they
That
can
is
get away
great.
with a lot of stuff because of the way it looks.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You have to they don't drink like boss. They drink his blood that or body that becomes a chicken, and then they kill the chicken, take the blood from the chicken, and then they burn the chicken, and then they turn into an orb that they put into the blood from the chicken. And that he has to drink.
But you know they blended
Yeah,
it's a bit
in front of
goofy
him.
nonetheless.
it's a bit much, I gotta admit,
Yeah,
but it
it's
lends into the
weird.
fantasy thing. Like
Yeah,
it's a bit
But
much in a good way, actually.
yeah,
yeah,
but also
Like
the snake with the three-headed snake.
yeah.
yeah, that's
But
missing a head.
yeah, exactly. And there's this huge hole in its neck, you know,
Mm,
like it hasn't even healed. But
yeah,
because of the way it's drawn, it's okay to look at.
it comes off as like funny, like in the way it looks, like to
Yeah.
me.
Hmm.
Like and even
It's
in
Like,
the yeah
it's cartoonish.
yeah
but
cartoonish.
Not,
imagine
not being,
if it was drawn the same way as Attack on Titan.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
It would be horrible. Like
yeah.
you wouldn't want to look at it.
Mm.
Mm,
This whole anime in the style of a Junji Ito.
wow.
Start of what?
In the style of Junji Ito, the guy who made the horror manga,
Oh,
um, Walking Fish. You know what I'm talking about, right, Mess?
I know, I know. Don't worry.
maybe I've seen it, but I'm just
He's made
really
an.
not good at
There's a
names.
manga called Uzumaki. Try to read that. You'll know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just not good at
it's
names.
when you think about horror manga, it's he's the guy.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the first people that you think about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Mm.
yeah, the whole feeling of every character would be changed, especially the snake. I
Mm.
just I also really like that the snake only has two eyes because one eye of both of the still working heads are gone. That's
Yeah.
just a
Mm.
cross over it. It's
Doesn't it only have one working eye? Like
yeah,
one of the heads has both eyes like taken out, and then
really,
the one head has one of its eyes taken out, so it only has one eye.
Oh.
really. I don't remember that.
I could be
Damn.
wrong, but I think it's like that.
Huh. Wow.
That's just
That
funny
snake.
detail.
Yeah. That snake really got it bad when
Yeah.
those guards tortured it.
Or
But what
when
I
Queen
think is
Hilling kicked it.
what I
Yeah.
think is really interesting about the snake itself is that I think it might actually be able to survive if it was real life because snakes are so hardy, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
So like losing eyes or losing a head if it still has several heads left, I think it would be able to survive in real life.
Yeah. Reptiles are very surprisingly hard to kill.
Yeah, exactly.
What I find interesting about the snake is that snakes and multiple headed snakes usually aren't like allies in fiction. They're usually bad guys.
Yeah.
But the snake is one of the nicest guys in the entire show.
Yeah,
And that's really interesting. So,
Yeah.
again,
We just our animal part of the brain just looks at a snake and says, "Oh, that's bad.
yeah, it's the
oh
predator.
no,
Like, it's,
Get away from me."
can't relate.
yeah. Are
No, you
we.
can't.
I have to wonder if later on we're gonna have a horse that's gonna be evil.
What?
Why?
Because
Why a horse?
horses are usually good.
Well, yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Or maybe I'm thinking too much about this. I don't know.
Again, we have Domus already that he looked like a very good guy, but turned that turned that feeling 180 and
Mm.
just pushed
Boji.
Boji off the cliff. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I just believed him to be a good guy through and through, but no, more complex than that.
It's not about him being a good guy. It's about what's best for the kingdom and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's not about good or evil.
yeah. But tasteful violence again. There's
I would say a lot of the action scenes are like they're portrayed in a way so that I would say any age could probably watch them from what I can remember.
Yeah.
Like the only times I can remember where it gets just a little bit like gory, if I'm gonna use that
great.
word, is when that shield guy is fighting those wolves
Yeah.
or whatever they are. But that's really
Mm.
the only time, and it's very minor. Like
Yeah.
honestly,
It's still mild.
yeah, it's really mild. But everything, every other like action scene, there isn't. It's yeah, it's made in a way that pretty much anyone of any age could watch it and enjoy it.
Wait, what about the massacre of the Shadow People?
Yeah, well, we don't actually see anything. Like we
No, we don't
We
see
see
anything.
the mother on the pike, I think.
Yeah, we see the mother on the pike,
But
but
because she's not human or animal, she's
yeah,
just a blob. I think
yeah,
it's less gory.
yeah.
yeah,
Again,
it's
I
more
think
easy on the eye.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I think kids could watch it and be fine. Honestly.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and when you think about it, when Kage was caught by Bibbin,
Oh yeah, and
and
he's hanging on that thing.
yeah, he's hanged
Ah, if
on
that
a
was on like a hook.
yeah on a hook. It's when you think about it. Again, I don't know how shadow people work, but it looks painful
And then he
Yeah.
as
rips
hell.
him like his own like
Yeah, he
through his own
rips.
skin or something. Oh,
Ah!
yeah, that's like
Yeah.
something for a Saw movie if it was a real
Oh
like
Jesus.
person.
But yeah, it's again because
So,
they aren't
hmm,
humanoid and something that we can recognize as something that we can recognize any autonomy that would
hmm,
hurt. That's the way they get around that.
this does not bode well for Kage's future. I just realized that.
How did you realize? Did you get spoiled or something?
No, because if they can do this with Kage, this character Kage specifically, that means that probably they're going to do it more in the
Uh,
show as opposed to other characters.
yeah, like
But
he's gonna get
yeah, he's gonna get more
hurt,
like
goes through. Yeah,
hurt, hurt. But one thing I want to ask you: would you people show this to kids?
Like I don't think I would tell a kid not to watch it, but I
Mm.
wouldn't be like, hey, you know, I know you like Frozen, but here's his ranking of kings.
Like if
I
it was
think
randomly you were visiting your whatever relative that's a kid and this was on TV, would you say, "Oh, I know this. This is good," and would you let your 5-year-old whatever see it?
I might let them watch it. Yeah.
I don't think I would let it. Not because I don't think they would enjoy it. I just don't think they would
Enjoy it for
understand.
the right reasons, maybe.
Again, you can enjoy something just for the visuals, but I would, I would probably, um, I would probably tell someone to watch it if I think they could enjoy the more complex storytelling.
Mm.
Again, I don't want someone too young to watch the demon scene not and and later not understand that there is a connection with the demon, the dad, and then the curse.
Mm. Well, they
Mm.
can always watch it later when they get older,
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a
and then they can get a different experience out of it.
mm, yeah,
Mm.
that's that's definitely a option.
Mm.
So yeah,
So, should we move on or?
Yeah, sure.
we good. Yeah.
All right. The
Ah,
suspense
yes.
questions. This
the
is yours,
scene,
Lars.
yes, the scene that made us all say, "Oh, this is not what I was expecting. This anime is not gonna be anything that I expected it to be." Um,
This scene
yeah,
made me shout "what" really loudly.
yeah. Bo, 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 bo. But yeah, uh, I think Ranking of Kings does something very very well, and that is it does many things very well. But one of the things it also does very well is keeping the suspense in asking questions or in not giving answers.
Mm.
Again, the first time I realized that, oh, this is gonna be a thing that's gonna come up again, again, and again, was um, when Boss took over Dieter's body
Yeah.
in the end of an episode, and in the next episode we got the answers why he would be interested in doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not long afterwards we also got the answer what the demon was or what he is, or we don't almost doesn't know what he is, but we know what function he has in the story.
Yeah.
And I just think that the resolution to those questions came at a perfect timing, because many times I find myself when I watch an anime or I enjoy some kind of media, it's it brings up a question or it brings up something not resolved,
Mm-hmm.
and it keeps the tension, it keeps the suspense, and many other things happens in the story. And after a while the suspense dissipate because, oh, okay, well, I can't keep the suspense until the question is answered. I'm just gonna forget a little bit about it until I get the answer.
Yeah. I can actually come up with an example that does this not very well. There's the anime slash manga Tokyo Ghoul, and Tokyo Ghoul has a tendency to come like give like a plot point at one time, but then it's we only like get the answers to like what that's about hundreds of chapters like later.
Yeah,
And by
and you
that point you've either forgotten what it was, the original like thing that was shown, or you don't care as much.
yeah, or something else has taken your attention
Yeah.
more than. And I really think that the Ranking of Kings does this balancing act of asking questions and giving answers. Um,
Completely agree.
yeah, it's just a perfect balancing act. It's yeah, they resolve, they give the answers very well at a well timed time manner after after we have asked a what the fuck question, what just happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you sit on the edge of your seat just long enough for you to grit your teeth, but not long enough for you to actually get tired in your knees and just going back on in the seat again.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's it's not something I. It's actually the first time I have I have thought about the art of doing this, because they are doing it so well and so obviously. But I've never I've never actually thought about it as a it's interesting mechanic of storytelling. It's a very well it's a well oiled machine of function they have made here.
Mm.
So yeah. Plus, what the fuck, demon? What? Again, they maybe ask. They bring up the most weird thing in the. Was that was in the first episode, right? Or was it in the second?
It might have been like the at the end of the first, or at some point during the second. I think it's at the second, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It's at the second, yeah. But yeah,
Mm.
it's early on,
Yeah.
and again, again, I didn't. They brought it up that early that I didn't. I almost didn't believe that we would get an answer to it.
Yeah. The
Or
same. Like.
it was so weird. The funny thing about it, I thought it was so weird that I didn't think we would get an answer to it because it was so weird.
It
But
came
then
right out
again,
of left field. Like you
yeah,
did
yeah,
not
right.
see it coming.
And then boss took over Dida's body.
Mm.
When that's when he brought up the question that would ultimately answer all of our questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, it, yeah, it's well written. Can I
Yeah.
say?
It's really well written. One thing with the demon like scene is that the scene immediately after ignores it. So you were going there like watching and being like, "What the hell just happened?" And then the characters are ignoring it like initially, and like, are they not gonna bring it up? That's what you're you're thinking, and it gives it this. It makes the impact of the scene hit like a lot harder, I think. And then when
Mm,
they do bring it up again, then you were like, oh, they are going to bring it up. Oh, okay. Oh, so it's toying with our emotions, like in a really like well made way. I'm gonna say.
mm.
Mm.
It's and also it's so unnerving the
Yeah, really.
way that the demon just comes up and sits on the, the dead body of boss
Yeah,
and points at the Boji and just laughs and then
yeah.
disappears.
That's the only thing
It's
it
just
did.
what?
And there we have
What?
again the whole less is more. So like that's
Exactly.
all we needed. What?
Mm,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh man.
Mm.
We're just talking about how great this show is.
Yeah, it's basically just well done
Really,
studio
I'm gonna give 10
with
out of
studio
10 to
quality.
this show. I had no complaints about it. It's just good.
It's too good.
Is this the best show that we've talked about so far?
Uh,
I mean, Death Note is pretty great.
Death
Yes,
Note is
but
very
I have
well.
bad things to say about Death Note, if only because of the second part.
Uh,
Oh yeah,
Then again, we're not even done with this show, so
yeah.
this might
We're not.
we might be a little early. Like if we've only
Yeah,
seen
it's
one
very
half of
early.
Death Note, I wouldn't have any complaints about Death Note,
Yeah.
maybe, but so
So yeah. Again, Death Note came into my life at the right timing. I was an angsty teenager
oh yeah,
at that
same
time. So it
same.
just
I got a
it
lot
hit
of
right.
I have a
It
lot
was
of
the perfect
nostalgia
shock.
with Death Note,
Yeah, I have a lot of nostalgia too.
yeah.
so it's a biased opinion in terms of
Yeah,
Death
it's a
Note.
very biased opinion. Again, a good anime versus my biased nostalgia filled opinion. It's a hard battle to win.
Hmm. By the way, there's a difference between thinking like a show is really good and then liking another show more than another show.
Mm,
Like you can
yeah,
think one show is better than the other, but still like the other more because of personal
yeah,
Yeah.
reasons.
yeah.
So yeah. So
It's
even
a
if I'm saying
taste.
that this is really good, there are other shows that I can say that is probably worse shows, but that I like more. So
Yeah.
Yeah, again,
yeah.
I I like Blue Exorcist to death, but I can objectively say that yeah, but there are some story elements I think that could be written better, and I see better written stories in other animes.
Yeah, I feel the same when it comes to like Dragon Ball. So
Yeah.
mm.
Well, suspense and questions. I don't have anything more to say.
Well, like I can say is that it's because of this thing that we're not going to talk about the mirror because the questions there are still flaming hot.
Mm, yeah.
Mm.
We can bring it up again. We are probably gonna bring it up again.
We are going to
How
talk
can we
about the
not?
mirror next time.
We
Like,
need to talk about it.
I feel like that it's too early to give an opinion on the mirror, but
Oh my god! Wait! I just remembered.
yes,
Isn't the we got the name of the mirror last time, right?
Miranda,
No, it's Miranjo,
Miranjo.
as in mirror.
Yeah, of course, Miranjo, something like
Yeah. Oh my
Miranjo.
god! Yeah. The names in this show is not the most inspiring, but
It's an anime
they're
thing. That's
good.
normal
Yeah,
for
they
anime.
yeah I think they serve their purpose
It's one of
well.
those things like once you realize it, you go, oh.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. So
Well,
anyway, I think we're done here.
yeah.
Hmm?
Well, next time, my idea is that then we'll see the rest, and then we'll talk about the rest. Your
Yeah.
game?
Sure.
Also, I need to know where this train is going.
Yes, same. Like every time when we were each episode we were watching, I was dreading, like thinking, oh no, I can only watch
Oh
until
no, this
episode
is gonna
11.
we need to wait.
I have to wait. So yeah. So next time we'll talk about some more ranking of kings. Look forward to it.
Woo!
And remember to like and subscribe, and also to comment down below. And we'll see you later. Bye bye.